What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Tuesday night's Transfer News Roundup. Now, I'm sure you're looking at the thumbnail and the title and wondering, have we had a breakthrough? I hope so. We have seen reports today that Liverpool have agreed personal terms with Andre of Fluminense, and I'm going to try and give you guys a little take on where we are at the moment, what we may expect to see over the next few days, and how we've gotten to this position. So as always, I'm going to speak for the next 8 to 10 minutes, but you know what I'm going to say. I want you legends to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please do drop a like on the video, and if you haven't hit the subscribe button, well, why not join the other 205,000 people that have come around to see that this is the best place to get your Liverpool fan content. So as always, much love. And look, here's where we're at. So mixed bag today on Andre, but I think we're ending on a positive note here. Mainly, we've seen that Liverpool are willing to go to €30 million for Andre from Fluminense, but the club don't want to sell the player because they're in the midst of a battle to win the Copa Libertadores, which is kind of understandable, right? They don't want to lose him, and they're in the quarterfinals. And interestingly, the second leg of the quarterfinal tie, well, that finishes on transfer deadline day. So I was preparing myself for a situation where maybe if they got knocked out, Liverpool could try and go in and get that deal done in a matter of hours, but it's a very risky strategy for a couple of reasons. One, it would rely on them getting knocked out, and two, it would rely on us being able to get everything done in a very condensed period of time, which doesn't leave us much wiggle room. And as we know in this window, we made sure that we need to have plans A, B, C and D. So this is where we are at. It is being reported, and it's been reported in a couple of different ways, but I'm going to give you both takes, positive and negative. So the negative side was ESPN Brazil saying that Liverpool aren't getting any joy with the €30 million offer, and that we aren't going to come back in for the player and aren't going to revisit it in January. That's at least what they believe. But then there's been another report that states differently. This report states that, and this comes from Emmanuel Luiz, who said that Liverpool have already agreed personal terms with Andre, and that Liverpool are looking to get this deal done in this window. So here's what I don't understand, whatever the take is. If Liverpool want the player, and the player has agreed personal terms with Liverpool and is willing to make a move, why are we nickel and diming again? Pay the €40 million buyout clause, get the kid. I understand if Andre said to Liverpool, I want to try and win the Copa Libertadores, I'd love to do it with Fluminense, can you hang off? Wait in January, maybe. But if the kid wants to move, if the kid's willing to come to Anfield right now, then from our perspective, I don't understand what we're doing. We've already seen Romeo Lavia in that situation where we didn't get to the number that was going to get a deal done, and we ended up losing him and of course Caicedo. We've since brought in Endo, and now we have an opportunity to get somebody who Klopp clearly wants. Andre's a very, very talented young man. He's one Brazilian cap, but he's really highly thought of. And he is a very bullish, strong, dynamic, quick midfield player that I think would fit in very well. Now, I'm not going to profess to be an absolute expert in him, but in what I've watched of him, I can see the appeal. So to Liverpool right now, please just pay it. We've got the money. We know we had £111 million. We spent $16.5 million on Endo. I'm all in on him. That's a great deal. But go get this dude, and then we can try and spend the remainder of the window sorting out a centre-back position. Because I'm starting to see things starting to eke out in the media to say, well, with Joe Matip not moving on and Joe Gomez still at the club and Nat Phillips still here, maybe Liverpool will have enough ... No, we don't. Jurgen Klopp has made it clear all summer that he wants to sign a defender. So let's give him the time to get that done between now and the end of the window. So please, George, Jurgen, whoever, get this done. Pay it. €40 million, about £35 million. It is not worth potentially ruining another season over the difference between €30 million and €40 million, especially when we've got the bonus money in for Fabinho and Henderson. So get it done, get the kid in, give Klopp the dynamic midfielder he wants to add in on top of Endo, who's our DM, by Cecic, of course, who can play in that role when Endo's not available, and then give Klopp what he wants, which is this versatile midfielder. And I can only speak for me, but I'm far more sold on the idea of Andre than I am of Ryan Gravenberch. And also, Bayern Munich's stance is still, at this moment, that Ryan Gravenberch is not available for sale. So You either do one of two things, in my opinion. You either tempt Bayern Munich, if you want Gravenberch, by putting an offer in and seeing how they react. Or you pay the release clause for this gentleman. We can't run the risk of letting this go to transfer deadline day and Liverpool hoping Fluminense get knocked out. Because if they don't, we're still back to the same position. If they do, then it's a race against time either way. So please, for the sake of not making us look like an embarrassment again, if Jurgen Klopp has signalled to the board that Andre is who he wants, get it done. Bring the kid over and give Klopp the chance to get the best season that he can, because he's only got 2 more left after this season. So now we'll move on to look at the centre-back situation. And again, it can't be a point of, well, we didn't get rid of Joel Matip and Joe Gomez is still at the club. They're just excuses. Klopp has said one thing consistently all summer. He hasn't spoke all that much about midfield, but he has said continuously, I would like to bring in another defender before the window closes. And again, we've got to get it done. The closer we get to the end of the window, the more likely it is that we're going to have our pants pulled down on the price because clubs are going to have to replace them. And if we're bringing in somebody that clubs don't want at the club, then they're probably not going to be good enough for Liverpool. So I don't understand why we're here again. Now, is it Hincapie? Well, if it is, good news. It looks like Bayer Leverkusen want one of Liverpool's youngsters. So surely that's an in to at least have the conversation. Hincapie at about €45 million and Andre at about €40 million, €75 million on top of, well, what €75 million is about £65 million on top of the £16.5 million we spent on Endo. So what's that? 71 and a bit, 81 and a bit million on top of what we spent in this window, recouping the money, would give us about 130, 135 million net spend. Respectable if we get every position filled. For me, for this to be an acceptable window, what needs to happen between now and the time that window slams shut on September the 1st at 11 p.m. is another midfielder and Klopp to get the centre-back that he wants. Anything less than that, this window's been a failure. And that's how strongly I feel about it. We've had plenty of time. We've had a long time to readjust since Fabinho and Henderson moved over to Saudi. Now it's time to get the job done. Lots of people were a bit annoyed that we went and signed Endo. The fact that we were looking for a young midfielder and we ended up with a 30-year-old. I'm fine with it because I understand Klopp's thinking. If he gets us through 1, 2, 3 years, brilliant, job done. As long as he's good enough to fulfill the role right now, I've no arguments. And he seemingly is. So let's bring in Andre, let's bring in a centre-back, and then let's give ourselves the best chance of success. Now, I'm sure you're already aware of this, my friends, but good news with the Alexis McAllister red card. That has been overturned, and he is available to play for the Reds against Newcastle this Sunday. So that is it for me tonight, my friends. It is now over to you. Let me know what you think. Do you think Liverpool should bite the bullet and pay the release clause for Andre? Would you like Gravenberch? Up to you. Let me know what your thinking is. As always, appreciate your support. Thank you for your time. And I seriously hope that by the time I speak to you good people tomorrow, we've got more news on Andre, because I'm all in. I love the idea of the guy. Let's get him signed. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.